To import your diagnosis codes, we'll go up to Master Files, to Diagnosis Codes, to Diagnosis Code Import. Now, this one has one step less than we did in our procedure code in that we don't have to set up diagnosis code import defaults. All we have to do is basically type in our range and click the refresh button. Again, I'm not being specific because after I do my range, I can go ahead and get more specific by clicking in the check boxes. Also, you can click on the green check to select all of the codes or the box next to it to remove them all. Again, I'll go ahead and just check a few. You'll notice that some of them don't have boxes, which means that they're no longer available. And also we have our updates only box, but because we're importing them for the first time and we're not doing updates throughout the year, I won't check this. But if I wanted to, I could check it and select do I want new codes, changed, or find the deleted ones through the current year. Then I can go ahead and down below click on the import button. Once they're done, you'll see that the green checks will be removed. Click clear and then type in a new code range and click refresh, and you'll repeat those steps until you have all your diagnosis codes imported. After I imported all my diagnosis codes, take a look at them by going to Master Files to Diagnosis Codes and click on Diagnosis Codes. And you'll see all the ones that I've imported so far. Now if I want to make change to a specific one and I don't see it in the list because I've imported tons of them, I can simply go ahead and click in the box, type in the code, and hit the tab key on the keyboard. It'll automatically populate the information here, which I can go ahead and type over and click save, or I can leave it and I can do an additional search by clicking clear and typing in another code, or I can go ahead and create my own, just like we did in the procedure codes. Be sure after you type it in, hit the tab key so it can do an automatic search. If there's no code listed, it will pull a blank. Type in my code and click save. Also, like the procedure code screen, the charge codes, you'll have a couple of cross references here. So for example, if I have a code that I use, but Blue Cross or Aetna uses a different code, like let's say Blue Cross, and for the first cross-reference, I can type in the code that they'd like me to use to print on the HCFA form. Click Save. The next one I could save for another insurance carrier, like for Aetna. Maybe Aetna wants this code. Again, up to 3. Now we haven't covered how we tie this in, but you can set up your cross-referencing here. But to see the end result, you'd click on Master Files to Carriers, and again, in the lower left-hand corner, like we did in the procedure codes when we were setting up our cross-referencing, you'll also have a diagnosis box. And you'll have 3 here, or at least the first 3 are the ones that we'll be using. And again, if I click on the button in the lower left-hand corner, because I didn't close out of diagnosis, it actually pulls it up, and I can see there's my cross-references here. And again, I'll remember that the first one is Blue Cross, and the second one is Aetna.